Alright guys, I'm feeling good. I got 3 free slots, so hopefully she's good. This is my Bofrost monster review. This is my first time seeing her, so I'm hoping she's a pretty good monster, at the very least not really bad. She's a Galactic Era Water Denier. So, this flash of white was taking extra long. So, a new villain who never liked Malarian or wanted to work under his wing is taking advantage of the leader of the supervillains to look for attention. His name is Bofrost, and he likes to create atmospheres that are unbearable to most, but perfect for him. His dream, to turn the city into a city-sized refrigerator. This reminds me a lot of Mr. Freeze. It's like really silly. Alright, so his finisher, Ice Age, removes positive effects, deals very heavy water damage to all, and applies Mega Freeze. Alright. It's the basic finisher. That makes me wonder if he's going to be an attacker, if it's just a cleanse very heavy, then Mega Freeze. His trait, and funnily enough, this is a reoccurring thing with all freezed monster deniers. They always are themselves immune to freeze. Whoa, area immune to freeze. So this is, okay, even funnier. Most freeze monsters, deniers, also have a team freeze immunity. Like, George Alato made himself unusable by giving his entire team freeze immunity, so it was hard to use him anyways, because if you fought another one, they completely canceled each other out. It's hilarious. So at rank 1, though, you have an area team freeze immunity. I actually think this is really good. This counters Absolute Zero, it counters George Alato, it counters Urchinian. There's a lot of freeze deniers to go around. There's always going to be a denier of every single category that it's worthy enough to have an immunity to their denial. But I think this is really good, and I love that it's a trait to all allies. So it's not just like some flimsy status caster that you don't really want to reapply. It's a trait. So if you see like you're fighting a Merc base or something like that, you can kind of debate whether, hey, if my King Autumn is also immune to freeze, he doesn't have much he can do to him. So that'll help you debate whether she's good in a war pick scenario or not. Hardened, it's the Umbrella status caster. It's a classic. It's OG. It's great. Only thing is, we're about to have a hardened Umbrella trait hater, so I'm not sure if that's too good. But for relative purposes, if you're using a normal denier like this one, you're probably only going to be using her in the beginner meta. So for what it's worth, it's alright. And then rank 3, we have Status Caster Area Daze. I gotta say, it's not the worst. It's way better than Minor Blind, because at least it does, like, it reduces damage output and accuracy by a noticeable amount. So if you hit this on an attacker, and I've only ever been, like, haunted by this now, it can make you miss, like, everything, just from that little chance of you missing. And with the more status effects, the more denials, the more extra turns you do, the higher chances that you're going to miss something. So it can be really good. But at the end of the day, it's just a random negative effect. Oh no, it's just a negative effect, and it can be cleansed away. With that being said, let's check out their moves. Look at that, he looks so much like Cryo Crawler. Okay, so let's feed this bad boy up. So I remember this monster coming out. I loved his design, so I really... Whoa! AoE enemy cleanse. I do like the look of that. Alright, looks like there might be something to this monster. I remember when the monster came out. I love their design so much that I really wanted them to be good, but I never heard anything about them afterwards, so I was like, oh, well, I missed the monster. I'm just assuming it was bad, but I don't know. If people weren't using it, then I assume it can't have been that great, but we'll see right here. So, let's check out her moves. First move, Frozen Heart. Deals moderate water damage to one enemy, 0 cooldown, 24 stamina. Applies damage reduction, alright, just like a pretty little attack for stamina reduction. No, for damage reduction. Coldest Villain, deals low water damage to all enemies, applies Daze. Alright, reapplying that Daze. She does seem to be maybe not even a freeze monster, but a lot of a debuffer. That's what you'd call her. Just giving Daze damage boost, minor damage boost. So this is just another weak AoE that you can kind of spam to keep it applied. Then you have Ice Avalanche. This one might be worth running. Removes all positive effects from all enemies, so an entire team cleanse, and applies Daze. This could be good, because if she has like a freeze AoE or something like that, she can AoE cleanse, and then when it comes back around to her, and maybe she removes evasion, triple damage pierce, whatever the case is. Random positive effects are going really crazy right now. This could just cleanse it, and then you could do your next move. It's on a 1-turn cooldown. I think this is going to be one of the moves you're running, just because I can't see any move being better than this by a lot. And then it applies the daze, that little soft denial. It's just nice to have. So, pretty decent. Frozen Hands deals moderate special damage to one enemy, applies total damage reduction. So this is like a very soft denial. It's almost spammable on a 1-turn cooldown, but I will never recommend total damage reduction or total blind, because it takes 1 extra turn to get rid of that. You can do literally whatever you want. If you land it on the wrong monster, you won't even be doing anything. Obviously, there's like Pierce monsters that if they don't have Kiradar's Horn on their team, which I doubt, and it has happened to me before, you could total damage reduction them, and they really can't do anything. They can still land on you their many dots, which Pierce monsters are kind of known for their dots. Like when I think about Serpentex and Cherub Cupid, they both have 3 very powerful dots. So for what it's worth, it's a soft denial, but I wouldn't go out of my way to main it. Glacial Trap removes positive effects and applies a total damage reduction. Alright, so that is her soft denial. She is using this over freeze, it looks like. So 2-turn cooldown, 38 stamina. It's not that high for a not that good move. You just cleanse off the enemy, and then they're open. You give them total damage reduction. She looks like she's only really targeting attackers because, as we know, Megaton monsters and support monsters, you really don't care about reducing their damage output. Like, there's the rare occasion that they finish you off, but I don't know. I really can't advertise total damage reduction. Snow Blizzard applies total damage reduction and daze to all enemies. So yikes, she really is going all in on that damage reduction. I will say run this move because it is the closest thing she has to an AoE denial. It does add daze, the little soft denial damage outputs like lower all of that, but it's really not that great. I might have to just look into her as a water attacker because I mean, if you're denying with total damage reduction, then you're really not that good. And then Full Zero deals heavy water damage to one enemy, applies freeze and daze. So finally, for an ice monster who's made of ice, we finally got our freeze move. So 1-turn cooldown, 36 stamina. At least it's close to spammable. It deals heavy water damage. That's pretty great in a fire meta. But if you don't run her as an attacker, I don't know. And then Field Frosted. Wait, hold up. Alright, so it's literally the exact same thing as Ice Avalanche, except for a lot more cooldown and stuff like that, you do damage reduction instead of daze. Like 1 more cooldown, about like 8 more stamina, you can do damage reduction instead of daze, when I think daze is better because it also gets your accuracy. So, let me try and find the best skill set for like a monster like this. I'm sorry to say, because I got her out of the bounty hunt. Like, I got her as the bounty hunt exclusive League 8 reward guy, and sad to say he's really bad, so it's going to be hard to run this guy. I'd say Glacial Trap, of course, it's your cleanse denial. Of course, it's a soft denial, so it's not as reliable. Really, if you do this to the wrong guy, it won't like have any effect. But for what it's worth, it's one of their best moves. Snow Blizzard, yeah, just the AoE denial with the daze, that might help, it really depends. Maybe you want to run daze and damage reduction just to see what it does. Ice Avalanche, you just want that AoE cleanse move, because if she is pretty weak at denying, then at least you want to be able to cleanse open the opportunities for your attacker to attack, or your denier. Maybe she's a team speed secondary denier, because she'll just freeze, she'll, do very weak stuff. I don't know. So this is a cleanse move to all. Apply that daze. I guess you really like daze if you're this monster. And then Full Zero, her only true denial move, deals heavy water damage, which I would love to start advertising her as an attacker off just that. Heavy water damage is pretty good in the fire meta, but for what it's worth, she's really bad at the only thing she could be good at, which is denial. So applies freeze and daze to one enemy. So, no, I gotta say, I'm very disappointed. I feel like on this account, I haven't made a monster review of a monster I've been disappointed in, like genuinely, in a long time. So, I mean, kudos to this guy. So, let me see if I can showcase him at all. I don't know, because I don't want to give him good runes. He's, like, really bad. Like, beyond the salvaging point, almost. So, Fire, Galactic, Canecro, Blossom. Oh, no, it's not Blossom Fire, it's Galactic Fire. Bofrost. Urchinian is better, in fact, because even though Urchinian and her both only have single freeze, at least he has two, at least he has Cold Blood. Like, I can't believe they made such a bad monster. And then I'll just throw in, like, let's see. I guess, okay, what would be complementary to her? I'd say a secondary or a main denier. So someone like Teddy Bomb. Or, okay, I'm gonna do actually alright. So, it's more about the concepts here than the actual monsters. I just want to use Canecro and him. So this would be like your main denier. Usually you'd think of him as Teddy Bomb. Maybe Zyron the Great. Someone with actual good cleansing, denying capabilities. And then you would run her secondary so that when they have immunities, she can cleanse. So look, I'll try and showcase what I'm explaining here. So, cooldown to 1, cooldown to 1. Oh, this guy was weird. Alright, so look, I do Wild Fig, and let's get rid of you. Alright, so let's say I do Wild Fig, and then it comes down to it, and boom. Let's say he was a single denier, right? Just like her, he only has one type of denial. Oh, well, look at this. I can't give her roots again, so now I'm screwed. Oh, she'll get a turn in. But then you'd have her to either go, oh, well, she's not immune to freeze, I'll freeze her. But look, she is immune to freeze. So you would do Glacial Trap. You'd be like, oh, look, I cleansed that away. She's an attacker, so now she has total damage reduction. And this now means that once it gets back around to him, I can reapply that roots. And she does have an AoE cleansing move, thank goodness. It's like her one saving grace. So that is what you're ideally going to use her for. So look at this. There's really like, even if these guys weren't this immune, look, okay, I'll say this. At least the soft denial kind of counters the immune to control, immune to torture meta, where it's really hard to use anything like tortures and controls with how many monsters are immune to tortures and control. So at least the, soft denial bypasses that. It gives you a little opening. But I still gotta say, it's really not even worth it in that sense, because, like, what? She can cleanse, do a single freeze? Like, even her soft denial is bad. I really can't recommend this monster. I don't want this video to go on too long, because, like, it's really hard to showcase a monster like this. Overall, I'm gonna have to give this monster the Omni-Crab thumbs down, alright? This monster is purely for collection purposes. Thank you all so much for watching. If you did enjoy and you watched it up to this point, please leave a like on the video. I suspect this video will get like no views because this monster is so bad and it's so hard for me to make her look fun. Leave a comment and I will respond. What are your thoughts on her? What were your thoughts when she came out and just was like even worse than like Seal Kara by a lot? And yeah, subscribe to join the Crab Army. We are on our way up, and I make a monster review of every new monster that I get, so that there's a monster review of every single monster that you could get for free for every one of my fans to watch and, like, come if they need it. So yeah, here's Bofrost. They're pretty bad. Get it for collection purposes. I always say get every single monster from bounty hunt and all of that. Never turn a monster down just because they're really bad, because the book rewards are really good. Like, I have so many books done these days, and they're so good. Like, here, I'll show you guys. Gotta find these arrows. Alright, look, Doomsday Era. Boom, this is a perfect example. So, I got Earthhog, right? One of the worst possible monsters, and of course I didn't want to rank him up, but if I got him to rank 2, then he would go along with the rest of my decent monsters, and I'd get 120 Ambrosia, I'd get 9 to 10 chests, and 4 golden chests. That's really good rewards. So as I say, never even turn down a bad monster, always just collect them for book purposes. Yeah, but that's basically it. Hope you enjoyed, hope you found it helpful. Yeah, just big thumbs down all around. Leave a comment and I will respond. Thank you so much for watching. Your favorite Omni-Crab signing out.